Ever wonder why the most famous founders look so calm? Because they keep their eyes on the boring days. I'm Maya. Welcome to the Founder Mindset Episode 7, The Power of Boring Consistency. I'm talking about Pranay Mahendrakar, who solved almost 2000 problems in Bengaluru and built 3 books, all by doing one small thing each day. If you're new here, hit subscribe so you don't miss what comes next.
Thanks, Maya. I'll keep it short. Consistency isn't a sprint, it's compound interest for ideas. 1% better daily turns into 37 times better after 1 year. If you slip that same percent each day, you'll shrink towards zero. The difference is invisible at first, but by year end, it's the reason most people quit early.
So, what does a boring day look like for you?
Let me think about that for a second. A typical morning starts with a quick read of yesterday's commit log. Then I set one keystone task like improving the login flow by 10%. No big headline, just one small change.
You keep doing it day after day?
Exactly, the keystone stays constant for months, if not years. Each iteration is a small push. In 2000 days, you'll have thousands of incremental upgrades that create a platform people trust. It's like stacking Lego blocks. Each block alone feels insignificant, but together they form an empire.
How do you choose that keystone action?
I use the 3S rule: simple, scalable, significant. Pick a task that's doable in 20 minutes, grows over time, and directly impacts your product scorecard. For instance, I used to optimize page load time because it cuts churn. That was my keystone.
People love flashy launches. Why not go big?
Everyone says launch a killer feature, that's backwards. You need the tortoise mentality. Think of Sridhar Vembu and Zoho. They grew slowly, built talent in rural India, kept costs low, no massive VC run ups. Their consistency outpaced Silicon Valley noise.
What was your turning point?
When I saw the first 10% drop in user retention after a small bug, the fix was 3 commits over 2 days. I realized that the daily grind was where real value happened. Those days are why I trust math over mood.
You mentioned numbers. What does your framework look like numerically?
It's a 4 step system: define, execute, measure, adjust. Step 1: define the keystone with clear success metrics. Step 2: execute daily in 10 to 20 minutes. Step 3: measure with an automated dashboard that flashes green or red every day. Step 4: adjust the next day if the metric dips.
Isn't measuring a daily KPI tedious?
Honestly, it's painless because the dashboard is set up once and runs in the background. I glance at it each morning. Green means keep going, red means tweak.
How do you stay motivated when results lag?
You are building a staircase. Most steps look the same from the top, but one day you might reach the roof for the first time. The trick is to celebrate micro wins. Hit 50 commits in a month. Keep a streak alive for 180 days, or log your keystone action for 365 consecutive days.
Can founders use this framework beyond coding?
Definitely say you're launching a SaaS product and your keystone is writing 3 customer support scripts per day. The same steps apply. Set the goal, write daily, review performance with CSAT scores, adjust.
What's the biggest mistake people make?
Thinking they can binge on success, they try to launch big features in one sprint, ignoring the plateau where nothing seems to happen. That plateau is the kill zone. Drop into consistency before you get there and you'll cross it.
If someone is already doing a large launch plan, how do they integrate boring consistency?
Blend it like this: on the big launch day, have a keystone task that runs the week before, like updating documentation or optimizing the checkout flow. It keeps momentum steady while you push for the headline.
Does anyone ever complain about boredom?
Sometimes they call it the 95% quitting point. Those days feel like nothing. But if you remember that every keystone action is a fraction of a grand plan, the boredom becomes purposeful. That's why founders who love showing up stay in the game.
You've mentioned Zoho again. What's their secret sauce?
They keep it simple, no venture money drama. Their keystone is profitability. Every product adds incremental profit by keeping costs low and adding value. They launch slowly, improve steadily, and the results compound.
Any last piece of advice for listeners right now?
Look at your work as a stack of 10-minute blocks. Pick one keystone task that directly pushes your key metric up or down. Do it daily, log it, watch the curve shift slowly until you see that plateau lift. Then celebrate that small victory. The rest will follow.
So, you say every 10 minutes matters. What's the first concrete step I should pick?
Good question. Start with a keystone task that shifts your key metric by at least 5% per month. For most startups, that means daily engagement emails or weekly bug fixes. Pick one and stop talking about it after you finish.
What if the task feels trivial?
Okay, so even a 15-minute cleanup can create a 2K per month lift if you free up bandwidth for new features. Trivial today becomes critical tomorrow.
How do I avoid the flat line trap where nothing feels like progress?
Look at the 7-day moving average of your keystone output. If it dips, that's the signal to push hard. When you hit a plateau, schedule an extra session on day 8 and log the result.
Can I batch tasks or should I do them every single day?
Batching breaks the compound effect, consistency beats batch size. Even if it's 30 seconds each day, that thread builds inertia faster than a weekend sprint.
What about motivation dips on Friday nights?
Use the 1 second rule, set a timer for 2 minutes, and do your keystone. The action is small enough that you'll finish even when you're tired. Habit forms.
You mentioned logs earlier. How detailed should they be?
Write 3 data points each day: start time, duration, outcome. That gives a simple 3 column sheet. Review it weekly to spot trends before you notice them in your brain.
Is there a way to tie this into product launches?
Absolutely, for every launch, define the keystone as the one feature that drives user acquisition. Ship that feature every day for 30 days. The cumulative funnel grows linearly before any big announcement.
What's a real example of this in Zoho?
Zoho used a daily bug fix protocol. Each engineer logged 2 bugs per day, fixed within 24 hours. After 6 months, release cycle time dropped from 30 days to 5. That was their keystone.
That sounds like data mining. Is it risky to focus on one thing?
Risk is only in complacency. The key is to rotate the keystone every 6 months so you keep building new levers without losing momentum.
What about people who are juggling multiple founders or roles?
For multi role founders, set a weekly commitment: 2 hours in the first hour of the week dedicated solely to the keystone. The calendar blocks protect against chaos.
If I'm running out of ideas for my keystone, where do I look?
Look at your product backlog. Pick the story that has highest net present value and lowest implementation cost. That's the fastest route to incremental profit.
Speaking of profit, you mentioned profitability early. How does that tie in with consistency?
Profitability is a linear outcome of consistent increments. If each keystone task adds $200 a month and you do it 180 times a year, you reach $32,000. No single rocket launch needed.
How can I measure the compound effect?
Create an exponential curve chart of your key metric versus days. You'll see the slow linear rise, then a sudden upward curve. Once you hit critical mass, that graph is proof that consistency compounds.
What about people who think this is just grind and not creative?
Creativity is the keystone substrate. The grind ensures the fuel is always available. Think of it as maintaining the engine so the art can fly.
Could you give me a quick template to start logging right now?
Sure, open Google Sheets, add columns: date, task, duration, impact. Enter today's data, set a reminder to update tomorrow at 9 am.
Mid roll, if you are loving this consistency chat, could you hit subscribe or share with one person who needs it? Now, back to our conversation. How do I stay honest when the numbers look boring?
Adopt a reality check every 30 days. Ask yourself if the slope of your curve is at least 5% better than last month. If not, reassess the keystone.
What if that reassessment shows you need to double down instead of changing?
That's when you enter exponential mode. Double the resource allocation on that keystone for a week and see if the slope sharpens. If it does, make it a semi permanent practice.
Is there an ending point to this consistency cycle?
No end, just evolution. As your business scales, shift your keystone from engineering to marketing, then to operations, and keep iterating.
Any final micro tip for listeners right now?
If you're building something, write a one sentence promise. I will do X every day to move Y. Keep it visible. That anchor keeps the grind alive.
Thanks, Pranay, for breaking that down. Any key takeaways?
First, pick a keystone task that nudges your metric by at least 5% per month. Second, log daily data and review it weekly to spot plateau signals. Third, treat consistency like compound interest. Small, regular deposits lead to exponential growth.
Thank you for that crystal clear wrap up. If you're still craving the grind's magic, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, or share this episode with someone who needs daily motivation. Next week, we'll dig into the psychology of burnout and how founders can preempt it. Until then, keep showing up. You're listening to the Founder Mindset.